All right, how's everybody doing today? I'm over here with my man Fat Tony, the 3-time Houston Press Best Underground Hip Hop Award winner here, Mr. 3-Pete over here. Appreciate it, man. Man, right now. Let's just start off, man. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
Man, my name's Fat Tony. I'm from Houston, Texas. From a neighborhood here called 3rd Ward. If you look around, you see we're in my land now. Just give y'all a little bit of a backdrop of the 3rd Ward area. Back before the white flight went down in like the 1950s, all the Jewish community lived in the 3rd Ward area. So when I went to elementary school, my old school had like Stars of David everywhere and all this stuff. They never remodeled shit. Besides that, I've been rapping for like 5 or 6 years. Have a new album coming out, or it might be out by the time you see this, called Rab Dargab, R-A-B-D-A-R-G-A-B.
It's good stuff. I just heard a little bit of it in the car, and y'all are in for a treat. Tell us something about your influences, man. What are your influences?
Man, when I was little, probably the first thing that really got me interested in my music was Alvin and the Chipmunks and Michael Jackson. Both of those were very accessible for like the little kid, you know what I mean? And Alvin and the Chipmunks like basically covered pop songs like Uptown Girl and The Girl Just Wanna Have Fun, and all that shit was very intriguing for me. Grew up a little bit. I started watching MTV and like BET a lot. I like seeing Prince videos and Nirvana and Beastie Boys and Jay-Z, Diddy, that was popping real big, Biggie, Pac, like all that stuff. I was in 3rd grade like 1996 to 97, so like that was when I started really getting into like rap. The first CD I ever bought was Criss Cross Totally Crossed Out. So, and when I remember buying that, they had posters for Spice World, the second Spice Girls album, and for the Machiavelli album. So that was the era that I came up in.
I got you.
And then as I got older, got in like middle school, kept listening to rap, like Eminem, Cash Money, all that stuff was real popular. Then I like started getting into rock a little bit. And like at that time, I didn't know no better, so I liked the rock that had like rappers in it. Like I know Method Man did a song with Limp Bizkit, so I listened to them, all that shit. Right. Then I went to high school and I started getting more into punk rock. Started off like Blink-182 and stuff. That's another one of the most accessible things out there. You feel me? And I started getting to more of like the Ramones and Green Day, and then I got into hardcore, like Bad Brains and Minor Threat and Black Flag. Then when I started getting into the hardcore stuff, like I was a nerd, you know what I mean? So I was on the fucking computer every day reading the backstories and watching videos and like trying to trade DVDs, and I would buy bootlegs of like punk bands playing on eBay and shit. And I started seeing like back in the day these guys were kids doing it. Like they were like 16, 17 years old. They were putting together their own records, starting their own labels, booking their own tours and all this stuff. So I was like, damn, maybe I can like do my own music. So before I ever tried to really make music of my own, I tried to book shows. I hit up this band in New Jersey called The Herbs that turned out to be real popular. They had never played Houston before, so I booked them a show at the old Super Happy Funland, and it was terrible. Nobody came out except me and like the 2 people that I came out there with. And from like there on, I just started booking shows for other bands. Then I started up my own group called The Low End, the hip hop group. Was a producer and me rapping and another rapper named Robert, and B-Side from Coma was our DJ back then. And then from there, that group broke up and I started doing solo Fat Tony stuff around 2007. That's a long ass backstory.
Very comprehensive, yes, that's what I like to all right, man.
From a child up to now.
Well, how do you feel about the Houston scene currently, and what do you feel your place is?
Man, the Houston scene is very interesting. When the first time I rapped at a Houston scene event, I was 17. You know my friend Smash Bro?
Yeah.
Me and him were hanging out. BBC had this event called The Bench. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, I think
and it took place at Warehouse Live, and I went for the first time. And I think it was the first time they had it inside Warehouse Live, because Warehouse Live was brand new, and that was the most poppin' local hip-hop show I've seen to this day. It was like between 100 and 200 people there. It was free to fucking get in. Zealy and Franchise from Austin played there. A bunch of acts played, and they had this open mic. And I was like, man, let me try my hand at it. So I brought some beats with me, and I was like, man, Jeremy, Smash Bro, can you help me like hype it up or whatever? So he came up there and he did the hype man thing, and I did like 2 songs. One song that I wrote for my Low Ends group, and then one was just a freestyle over that T.I. What You Know About That?
Oh, okay.
People love that shit.
Hell yeah.
That was my first time performing in front of people outside of like my school talent show. You know what I mean? So I started going to like the BBC events regularly, and like you see people like Comp One, like No Surprise was out. And as I've gotten older, probably now around 2008, 2009, that started dying out some. So for like a year or so, there wasn't a big local scene going on, but then you came about and you started bringing that out more. And like now I see a lot of newer artists in like the local scene, like all the old guys that I used to see in the scene, a lot. I don't see them that often, like Chaotix, never really see them out. No Surprise be out some of the time, like not as heavy as it used to be. So it's like a whole new local scene now. And what I like about the local scene is that it seems a little bit bigger and there's a lot more younger people. When I started, I was 17 in it. Everybody else in the scene was in their late 20s to 30s, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like now I see a lot more people my age, I'm 22 now, that are doing this shit, you know, and that's very cool to see. And there's a lot more competition too, which is good and bad. Like back in the day, it used to be all like where the scene we're all together. Now it's like I can see certain acts kind of compete with each other. I see certain acts kind of talk shit about each other, and that's cool too because it makes me work harder sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, it's good, man. It's nice, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what the local scene turns out. But I'm really looking forward to seeing is if people from our local underground scene can come out as like major artists. You know what I mean?
All right. What does FlyFest represent to you?
Man, it just represents everything that I was just talking about like the local scene. Like, you know, man, like I don't know, man. I was never really too big on like the local scene unity, but now I'm feeling it a little bit more just because I want to see like the hometown come up. But like if you look at shit like Dungeon Family was the local underground Atlanta rap scene before they blew up. Like Goody Mob and Outkast and Cool Breeze and Witch with Doctor and all those guys, like Organized Noise was big because they was working like TLC, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all those guys, their friends, they were just like the local scene, doing the open mics and doing local shows and all that stuff. And you see how they clicked up. They basically brought the whole local scene out. So maybe something like that could happen here, you know? So like this festival here is like represents the local talent. Like everybody in these different sections, this is their time to see all the local talent. You've got GFC on it, which is like some local white kids. You got me on it. You got K Reno on it, who was the first rapper from Houston ever put out a record. So it's literally going all the way from the first thing Houston did all the way to right now. And that's very important. And hopefully kids can like get that, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's not just rappers coming out watching it. Hopefully it's like people that are just general rap fans that want to check out something cool and have a whole day to themselves.
Cool, man. Well, you got any closing comments?
Man, just support artists you really love. If you're really digging the artist, buy their album, buy their merchandise, tell people about them. They need to get put on. You know what I mean? Like we're in the day and age where like artists are like going on like a presidential campaign. You know what I mean? Like they need the people. It's not enough just to listen to it and think it's cool. If you're really into it, get active with it. You know what I mean? And to like artists that don't understand the importance of campaigning like that, you're never gonna make it. You know what I mean? You gotta get on the road. You gotta work hard. You gotta give out some free shit sometimes. You can't focus on the money right off the bat because it's not about to happen. It's not about to come. The real money is in the long run, but if you can earn that respect heavily early, you have a better chance at this. And the average career span for artists like 5 or 6 years to average. So don't be going out there thinking you're gonna be the next Pac, the next Biggie. Just keep it sensible. You know what I mean? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't fuck around either. You know what I mean? Like don't try to half-ass music because you wanna make sure you keep a job or stay in school and all that shit. Like all that stuff important, but you gotta give it 100% if you want people to take you seriously.
Yeah.
Well said.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Fat Tony right there, speaking some truth, dropping some knowledge on y'all. I'm that purple bastard, and for FlyFest, we're out, man.
Purple Bastard Productions, bitch.